Welcome back to Energy Decoded. I am Maher. In our last module, we analysed the physics of primary and secondary migration. Hydrocarbons are highly buoyant fluids, constantly driven upward by gravity separation. But if this upward migration is not arrested, the hydrocarbons simply reach the surface, oxidize, and degrade into tar seeps. All that kinetic energy lost. To build a commercially viable accumulation, we require a geological system failure. We need a trap. Before we proceed, we must completely eliminate the most prevalent public misconception. There are no underground lakes of oil. If you drill 3,000 meters into the earth, you will not find a hollow cavern filled with fluid. The subsurface is solid rock. An oil reservoir is simply a layer of porous rock, such as sandstone or carbonate, where the hydrocarbons occupy the microscopic spaces between the solid mineral grains. We call this storage capacity porosity. But to trap the oil, we must stop it from moving. To halt migration, the reservoir rock must be capped by a seal rock. While reservoir rocks have high permeability, allowing fluids to flow, a seal rock possesses virtually zero permeability. Typical seal rocks include marine shales or evaporates like anhydrite. The governing physics here is defined by Darcy's law. As the permeability variable, K, approaches zero in the seal rock, the flow rate, Q, also drops to zero. The fluid is physically blocked. However, it is not merely a solid wall. The mechanism of sealing is dictated by capillary entry pressure. The pores in a shale seal are exceptionally small. According to the capillary pressure equation, PC equals 2 gamma cos theta over R, the pressure required to force an oil droplet through a pore throat is inversely proportional to the radius of that pore, denoted as R. Because the seal's pore radius is measured in nanometers, the buoyant force of the oil is simply not strong enough to overcome the capillary entry pressure. Having a seal is only half the equation. The seal must be arranged in a geometry that captures the fluid. We categorize these geometries primarily into structural and stratigraphic traps. The most recognizable structural trap is the anticline. Driven by tectonic compression, the rock layers fold into an immense inverted bowl. As hydrocarbons migrate laterally and upward, they hit the impermeable roof of this fold and accumulate at the crest. To understand the sheer scale of structural trapping, we analyze the Ghaiwa field in Saudi Arabia, the largest conventional oil field on the planet. Its structural integrity relies on an enormous anticline trap. The reservoir is the highly porous Arab D limestone formation. The absolute critical component, however, is the supreme seal rock capping it, the Hith anhydrite. This massive evaporate layer provides an impenetrable barrier, securely trapping tens of billions of barrels of hydrocarbons for millions of years. Once trapped, the fluids do not mix randomly. They obey the laws of gravity segregation. The reservoir fluids stratify based on their specific gravity. Formation water, being the heaviest, remains at the bottom. The liquid crude oil floats on top of the water. If the temperatures were high enough during catagenesis to generate natural gas, this lightest fluid will accumulate at the absolute peak of the trap, forming a gas cap. This creates distinct boundaries known as the oil-water contact and the gas-oil contact. A trap is not infinite. It has a geometric limit known as the spill point. If the volume of migrating hydrocarbons exceeds the volumetric capacity of the structural fold, the fluids will simply spill under the edge of the seal and continue their upward journey. We have now mapped the entire generative system, from a dead plankton to a pressurized, sealed reservoir. In our next session, we will shift to the operational domain. We will deploy advanced geophysics to actually find these invisible traps miles beneath the surface. I am Maher, and this is Energy Decoded.